KOMO News Time is 3:17.
This is the KOMO Afternoon News on KOMO Newsradio.
Well, for those of us of a certain age, that theme song is instantly recognizable. The J.P. Patches Show, a before and after school tradition here in the Northwest.
How does that look, boys and girls? Pretty nice, eh? You don't like it?
Well, today we're mourning the loss of the iconic J.P. Chris Wedes, and he had lost a long battle with blood cancer yesterday morning. Joining us in our KOMO studio, writer, producer, and media historian Feliks Banel, and obviously a very sad day in the Northwest. It seems everybody has a favorite memory about J.P. Patches and the great impact he had on this area.
I think you can feel the sadness all over the region today. It's palpable.
And it's a whole bunch of people of a lot of age groups. He was on the air for such a long time.
Yeah, and then I think he was even almost more popular once he got off the air back in 1981. And
yeah.
I've done a lot of research. I've looked at other cities around the country, and every city pretty much had a clown who had some kind of a TV show like this, and they typically went off the air in the 1970s. But nowhere was there anyone like J.P. who continued to resonate, continued to be like a hero to so many tens of thousands of people. There's really no way to explain it. I mean, I can't quite explain it. I mean, he was an amazingly talented guy, and that show was hysterical to kids and grown-ups. But here we are, 31 years after it went off the air, and we're
amazing.
You can feel the sadness in the region today. It's amazing.
For those of us who did not grow up in the Seattle area, and as you mentioned, I grew up in Eastern Washington. We had similar programming over there, and I can remember some of the characters that were on there, but none of them had anything close to the impact that I heard about when I moved over here. And he had just gone off the air when I moved over here. To people who are not indoctrinated into the J.P. Patches lore, what made him so special?
Do I have 90 minutes to do this? I could lecture for hours about the importance of J.P. But no, the short version of it, a really talented guy. He timed his career perfectly. He came into the business when local TV was like the internet of its time. Everybody watched local TV. He was so talented, so witty. He had a great cast, a great Second Banana and Bob Newman, and they were funny for kids with their sort of slapstick and showing cartoons and stuff. But there was always an element of sort of double entendre that the grown-ups could laugh along with too. And people watched the show all ages, and they connected with JP in person when they went to store grand openings. He shook his hand. He asked you what school you went to. He pointed at your mom and said, "Oh, is that your sister?" I mean, he was always working the audience, and it was totally genuine. There's no Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. JP and Chris are the same person in my mind.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I had an opportunity I'm so grateful for to know Chris, about over the past 20 years. And before that, I moved here in 1964, and he was my transition to the Northwest. It's like, okay, everything's going to be okay. Here's my friend. I mean, it was so important, and all of those things stick with you. And I think that's what a lot of people in my generation are feeling. There was a connection with this man, and it was real.
Yeah, and what I like about the fact there's all these other things that have come from Seattle that have become internationally famous, Boeing, Starbucks, Nordstrom, Nirvana. JP didn't. JP's only for us. I tried to talk to some in-laws I have from New Jersey, and they're just like, no, wait, he's a TV clown, and why 30 years later are you, people just don't get it unless you're from here and you grew up and you got to meet JP.
Is there a place people can go to see footage of this? I understand that they just taped over the shows and that there really is not that much footage left.
Yeah, there's a couple hours worth. JP, there's a DVD that's available for purchase. There's some stuff on YouTube. History House down in Fremont has a recreation of the old set, and there's that wonderful statue right across the street where people are laying flowers today. I was up there last night, and there was several people gathered there just looking for that connection that JP always created for them.
He's going to be missed so much. Feliks, we really appreciate you coming in. That is writer, producer, and media historian Feliks Banel on the death of J.P. Patches.
Thank you, Feliks. And before we get to your money news today, we have some breaking news as Tracy Ellis joins us in the studio.
This is big sports news, guys. The Mariners have traded Ichiro Suzuki to the New York Yankees for 2 prospects. We'll have much more on this later on, but Ichiro Suzuki traded to the New York Yankees for 2 prospects. That's the latest. And we'll have a little bit more information a little bit later on.
All right. Obviously, with the Yankees in town tonight, that means he's going to be changing into a brand new uniform just across the field this evening. We'll have more on that as the afternoon progresses. Thank you, Tracy. All right, Wall Street today, Dow off 101, second straight down day after Friday.